Thanks for watching my videos. I think it's very important to come on here and I just wanted to give more insight on the dream of the screams of hell that I had a couple nights ago. And so I think, I just hope this encourages you to share your faith, and not be afraid to ask people if they want to go to heaven or if they are, if they know Jesus, whatever you say. I really just hope this helps, because every time I think of it, my heart, my soul just drops. And God showed me what He sees all the time, and it's like when I look at someone, I don't care how rich you are, how strong, fast you are, whatever. All I care about is, are you saved? And so I just want to point out, I was in a big parking lot, very big parking lot, like a Costco parking lot times 10. And I was walking towards canopies, and under these canopies were tables. Basically like a big, tent-like material, but these are canopies, okay? And I think it's important to kind of mention what these things meant. So where I live, I look down from a hill and I see a church, and they have canopies, similar to what I saw in my dream. So in my dream, when I was walking towards these canopies, I had a fear of, it was like, whoa, like in my dream I was walking and I had a fear of, wow, like that's really bad. And I was walking towards these canopies, and basically representing, the church, right? I'm walking towards God, and the sky was just all blue around, like a very light baby blue. Nothing else. Just imagine that. Just nothing else. And the way I felt was, I felt God around me. I felt God in me. I felt safe. I felt protected. But about maybe 3 miles back behind me was a big portal of, like, basically, if you look at the human body, it was basically like opening up a bullet wound. That's the size, of hell that I saw. Big bullet wound per se. And I want to point out the screams, man. I never ever have audio in my dreams. My dreams are all mostly 99% visual. And for me to hear my dreams is very important and significant. And the screams, first of all, I heard men and women screaming. And the men, and I want to point out, it wasn't like 1,000 people. This sounded like it would put a stadium of people to shame. A packed stadium of people would be like 1 decibel compared to how many people. These were billions and billions. Given, mind you, that the section I saw was just a small piece, so, and that sounded like millions of people just in that small little section. So hell is the shape of a human body, so you can only imagine how loud the screams would be all gathered together that God hears 24/7. And the screams of the men was like the bass guitar of a band, and then the screams of the women were like the high strings, and the men were so it sounded like this. At the same time, simultaneously, here's the men's sound. It was, and I do want to point out that the screams were continuous. There was no break. I mean, when you're down there, there's no physical limitation, so it's all continuous. So it was just and then the women, man, the hardest part was hearing the women scream, because it was so high pitched. I mean, And the sound of fear and terror in their scream was like, you know, you don't hear that in daily life at all. Maybe in a horror movie for like 3 to 5 seconds. But imagine that times a million women. Okay, so it was like, this is how it sounded in my dream, and it was blood curling. I'll do my best, but it was like a, like, like times a million billion times, and it was so bad. And like, just think about it, it makes me cry, man. And one of the worst parts, I gotta say, was the crackling of the fire, man. The crackling of the fire, man. That was the worst part. Like, one of the worst parts, the crackling of the fire. The crackling of the fire just was so loud. It was like snapping your fingers, but really strong, with that high. I can't do it, but man, the crackling of the fire, the way it sounded was as if you're at a campfire, you put sticks in the fire. You know how it has that crackling, and it's just blazes up. Well, basically, that's what hell sounded like. Hell, the fires of hell is at its purest and its strongest form. You know what I mean? Like, when you first start a fire down here, it blazes up and then it, simmers down, right? Well, in hell, it's the continuous form of the hottest part of fire. So the hottest fire on earth is like the coldest fire in hell. And there's people in that. These fires are like 20, 30 feet tall. And most people are between 5 feet and 7 feet tall. What are you? Even in the first world, there were giants, 14, 15, 16 feet. That's nothing. Man. And that was the hardest part, was to hear the crackling of the fire. And people are the fuel. People are the fuel. And like, you think about it and you're like, this is my eternity? You see? I'm telling you, you see the light? These are things that I experience when, must be the Holy Spirit. You just think like, when I was thinking when I had that dream, all those people that are down there, God told me, like right after the dream, he put up his hands and he's like, it's not my fault. It is not my fault that they are there. They chose to be there. Every single person down there, from the age of 12, 13, whatever the age accountability is, all the way, to 100 plus. He told me it is not my fault that they are there. He said, I did everything in my life, in their lives, to get their attention. And they basically said, I hate you, I don't want you. I'm their creator, right? Is what God says. And they hate me. My own creation hates me. Imagine you create something and it hates you. How would you feel? They're only reserving themselves for judgment, right? So that's what the people in hell are going through. Being tormented constantly by their lives. Their lives is a living testimony against them. It was bad, man. But, God has helped me get through it. And it's funny I had that dream because, well, it's not funny, but it's I pray for many things, we all pray for this and that, right? But things that pertain to God, he'll answer quick. And I asked, like, literally 2-3 nights before, I asked God to give me a fuel to help me evangelize. Give me fuel to help me, encourage me to get out there and share my faith. And sure enough, he gives me this dream, man. And it's like, I look at everyone and I just want to share the faith of Jesus Christ during the right time. It's like, I feel like if I don't, what if they go to hell? What if that was the last day? I know it's kind of long, but I really got to share this. I don't really do long videos. You know, what if that was her last day on earth? I had, when I was working at a spot, for my business, I would see people who, the tenants who, rent the offices, come to and fro. And one of them, her name was Q, and she was probably like 5'2", real short and a little stocky and just bigger and very nice. But she was goth, and she didn't look saved at all. I didn't see the spirit of God over her. I didn't see nothing inside of her. Just she wasn't saved. And unfortunately, this was actually last year, but unfortunately, she got into a car accident. I guess she like fractured or something, her pelvis, something of that nature down there. And I guess the blood clot eventually just ran through her artery and killed her. And I don't think she knew the Lord. So I think about that. People that I knew personally, shook hands with, gone forever, never to be seen again. I may never see her again. I don't think she was saved. So I hope she cried out to God in the last moments. Who knows? Hopefully. Oh man. So I just love you guys and just hope this encourages you. Yeah.